welcome to Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer, your host for the program. Thank you so much for being with us. We start off today with Aurelie Champvert. We have Calais Waring, she's with the Young Leadership Council. Sarina Mohan is here from the Preservation Resource Center. And finally, Mike Rogers, he's been on the show before, and he's with the Cessation Trust, and he's going to be talking about that organization. And we've got a lot of good show information to share with you. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. If I get this right, it'll be a great day for me. Our next guest is Aurelie Champvert with the Alliance Française.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Great.
I only rehearsed it 20 minutes to do that. Aurelie, thank you so much for being on the show. Give us the mission of the Alliance, if you would, please.
So thanks for having me. And yeah, sure, the Alliance Française, so first we are part of an international network. And just in the United States alone, there's more than 100 chapters.
Oh, wow.
And we all have for mission to promote the French language and culture. French and Francophone, I like to add that because it's an important part of what we do here in Louisiana. So, and each chapter is really independent. So the New Orleans chapter is not like the New York chapter, let's say.
Yeah.
We have some really specific things that we do for the community here, like New Orleans being such a,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
a French heritage oriented city that we have to.
Let me ask you this: Are you part of the French embassy, or are you associated with the French embassy? Because we have them on the show a lot.
Okay, so yes, I am actually, and that's an interesting fact. So among those 100 chapters, there's only 3 that the French government is sending people to.
Wow.
Right?
That's
and
incredible.
New Orleans is one of them.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy. And it's also show that, you know, France care
Yeah.
about New Orleans and really look at it as, you know, that's a strategic place for the French and the Francophone culture.
And I got one more question before we get into your event, because I could talk to you all day. Will you stay here in New Orleans, or will you go back to France, or?
So eventually I'll go back,
Okay.
but I would love to stay, though, because we...
Would you have that option to stay? Or?
Well, it's not that easy, but we try.
We'll pull some strings. We'll keep you here. All right, you've got a big gala coming up on April the 2nd. Talk about that.
So yeah, April 2nd, we do our annual soirée, and so it's benefiting the educational and the cultural program we are doing at Alliance. And we also try to make it as fun and festive as possible. Now, this year it's really exciting because, first of all, we have a new venue.
Oh.
So we are partnering with the Southern Food and Beverage Museum and Perlou Restaurant, which, you know, they are kind of close to where we are, and
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful space. So that's where the gala is going to be this year. For the
And
first
I
time.
believe you have a patron party that's associated with the gala as well, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's a patron party and then a 4-course dinner that the chef, I'm going to misspell his name, I'm sure, Ryan Hughes, I hope you won't mind.
An American name?
Yeah.
Oh, God bless.
So he's preparing this amazing French influence meal.
Okay.
And if only for the chocolate marquise.
And it is a fundraiser, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it is a fundraiser. The money we get from that is really helping to develop our program, especially the kids program that we are trying to bring up.
Okay. And before we go, we'll put the website on the screen. It's af-neworleans.org.
Yes.
All information about the organization and the gala can be
Yeah.
found on the website.
Absolutely.
Thank you again so much for being on the show. We'd love to have you come back whenever you have the opportunity and talk about all the things that's going on with the Alliance. Stay with us. We got a few more guests. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Very happy to have Calais Waring. She is the president of the Young Leadership Council, and it says here that you are the 30th president.
That's correct.
30 years in existence, I'm taking it.
30 years. I'm no longer 30 years old, but it was a good one for me, so we're having a great time celebrating this.
Well, your organization is just such an incredible organization. Everybody knows about the Young Leadership Camp. If you will, give us the mission of the organization, what you're all about and the things you're involved in.
Very simply, our goal is to build leadership through community service. We were founded by a group of just really bright, energetic individuals who realized that there was still some need to be filled in the city, and it's important for residents, for community members to have buy-in for that. And that was the goal. So we create these community projects. We bring in individuals with ideas to solve problems in the city, and we help to cultivate those ideas, and we turn them into what we call projects, programs that we're able to fund. We do all of the fundraising for them and help them learn to recruit volunteers for those projects, and then we sustain them, some now for 15, 16 years.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wednesday at the Square, that's one of your biggest events,
That's
right?
our biggest fundraiser.
So tell us about that.
Absolutely. Well, what's great about that fundraiser itself, we have probably 6,000 to 8,000 people, depending on the band, join us at the Square, at Lafayette Square, each Wednesday between March and May. We run, I think, until May 18th this year. If there's no rain, we'll go to the 18th, but I think we'll extend into June if we have a rain day or two. That entire event is put on by volunteers, from booking our bands to setting up the tents to setting up the vendors, recruiting everyone to come in. We usually have 100 to 120 volunteers out there every week. And it, again, is our biggest fundraiser. So every dollar that's spent on, a beer or a great margarita that you can get out there, or the food, goes right back into our project.
That's how you raise your funds,
right? The money. Yeah, it's a free concert,
admission,
right? But you pay for your food and drink tickets, and then that goes back into the YLC programming.
Your website is ylcnola.org.
Correct.
All information about bands that are playing can be found on the website and things
correct.
like that?
And there are actually two websites. So ylcnola.org, and you can find everything you want about our organization there. And it will link to the Wednesday at the Square website, or you can go directly to wednesdayatthesquare.com and be able to see all of the artists and all of our sponsors.
Okay, and we'll have you on the show again to talk more about this event, but you have your Role Model Gala in September.
Yeah, absolutely. So September 17th of this year will be our 30th anniversary celebration. Every year for now 30 years, we have promoted 25 individuals in this city who we call our role models, and the nominations for those role models are open now. So we ask everyone with any interest in individuals who have been just really innovative in carrying our city forward to please log on to our website and nominate those folks that they think are worthy of that distinction.
Okay, love to have you come back on the show and talk more about that. We've got a few more guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Very happy to have Sarina Mohan with us. Sarina is the events director for Preservation Resource Center. Thank you for taking time to be on the show. We appreciate it. If you will, Sarina, give us a little information about the mission of the Preservation Resource Center, what you guys are all about and so forth.
Sure. The Preservation Resource Center has been around since 1974, and our mission is to promote the preservation, restoration, and revitalization of New Orleans' historic architecture and neighborhoods. Which essentially means that, in the 70s when we were founded, a lot of the neighborhoods around New Orleans had been disinvested and weren't doing as well as you see them doing today. And so what we've been working on for the past 40 years is to really get people to see the value in these neighborhoods and in these old houses, and to renovate them and, fall back in love with their home. So we have a variety of different programs to do that. We have been purchasing and renovating blighted and vacant houses throughout the city in different neighborhoods to put them back into commerce since we were founded.
And then you guys resell them?
We do. And then we also have Rebuilding Together New Orleans, which uses volunteer labor to do critical home repairs for low-income, elderly, disabled, and veteran homeowners. And we have a variety of education programs that work with prospective home buyers and prospective renovators, so that individuals can invest if they want to purchase their first home sometimes, to renovate a family home that maybe is in need of some love. and to be able to do all of that the right way. And so we teach them project management and financing and all of those things. And then we have an education program for kids, because if we don't teach them young to really fall in love with this city, they're not going to be wanting to renovate in 20, 30 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a good thing you don't do anything. With the good information. Now, you've got your Shotgun House Tour coming up. Talk a little bit about that and how people can get involved in that.
Sure. The Shotgun House Tour is so fun. It was a tour that the PRC started in the 90s when, believe it or not, people didn't necessarily want to live in shotgun houses. It wasn't the desirable thing that it is today. It was just sort of, those are the houses that we have, so that's what we work with. Now people are moving from all over the country because these shotgun houses are so cool and they're so fun and they're such a special, unique style of architecture.
Absolutely.
And now we have the amazing opportunity to show off the really different ways that you can style a shotgun, the ways you can live in a shotgun. And so it's really fun because each house has its own floor plan, its own storage options. Everybody puts their own unique spin on it. So we've got, some that have contemporary furnishings, some that have, all sorts of antiques. And you can really it's this amazing New Orleans style home that you can sort of make really into your own. And so Shotgun House Tour is a way for people to come out and see that and explore our architecture.
Are these houses that people are currently living in, are they houses also that you can buy? And
so they're primarily the tour is owner-occupied houses.
Okay.
They're private residences. We do it in a different neighborhood every year. This year we're doing it in the Garden District, which isn't always known for its shotgun houses, but believe it or not, they're all over in the Garden District. And once you start walking the streets, you see these little pockets of them, and they're just so gorgeous. So we are going to have private shotgun houses throughout the Garden District.
Awesome.
They'll be open for people to take a self-guided tour. We will have our tour headquarters at the Rink, which is a staple of the Garden District neighborhood, so people can come out and shop.
Me up. Give me the dates.
It's Saturday and Sunday, April 16th and 17th.
Okay. And Sarina, the website is prcno.org. All information can be found on that website.
Absolutely.
We'll put that on the screen.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. We've got one more guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Our last guest today is someone that we've had on the show before. Mike Rogers is the CEO for the Smoking Cessation Trust. Big name there.
You got it right.
I got it right. Anyway, Mike, give us the mission of the organization and kind of what you're all about.
Sure, I'll give you the Reader's Digest condensed version. But basically, what we are is a court-created smoking cessation program for the entire state of Louisiana for any smokers who began smoking cigarettes prior to September 1st, 1988. So you have to reside in Louisiana and have begun smoking prior to September 1, 1988. Make sure around 40 years old.
And
Really.
why that date? Is that...
Because the Louisiana law changed on that date. Before that date, we had the old Napoleonic Code. After that date, we had the Uniform Commercial Code, or a Louisiana version of it.
Okay, all right.
So it changed the law and literally changed what the court could do to establish a class, because this was a class action suit against tobacco. The only one in the country that's ever been won and not appealed away. Because that's what normally happens is, what normally happens is they don't lose. But the one or two around the country where they've lost in a trial situation, they've always been able to appeal it away in the appeals court.
So can I ask where else other than Louisiana?
Nowhere else.
Louisiana
This
is
is it.
the only state. Wow, that's
As far as we
incredible.
know, the only one where a judgment against the tobacco industry has held up through all the courts. This one went all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Wow.
Made it through our Supreme Court, made it through our appeals courts, went all the way up and made it out. But they tobacco were able to whittle it away because the original judgment was to fund a 25-year smoking cessation program statewide for $1.18 billion with a B. When they finished all their appeals and everything, they made it a 10-year program, and I think the total judgment was $272 million. So
Holy
you compare $200 million to $1.2 billion, and they were able to scrape $1 billion off of it, almost.
That's something. Hey, you got a big event coming up on March the 16th, Kick Butts Day.
Kick
Talk
Butts
about
Day
that.
I think it's the biggest smoking-related calendar event of every year. It's really not for our class, because our class is really 40 and older. It's the people that were our class, that would be our future class perhaps, because it's targeted at the young people, but with great cause, because tobacco, in our court case, it was proven again and again, they target the youth. They still do it today.
Yeah.
So a lot of their packaging will be targeted to appeal to a youthful buyer. The placement of ads in the stores, you'll notice that they're lower than normal, so that even little kids are getting bombed by these messages.
Interesting.
And these guys are marketing freaks. I mean, they absolutely know every little trick possible to get you programmed to do it or to try it. And they've edited or engineered the product through the years, and that also was proved by our case. They've engineered it to be more and more addictive, so that once you start, you really have little chance of quitting without professional
Hey, and let me ask
help.
you, before we run out of time, your website is smokefreela.org.
Easy to remember.
All information about the trust can be found on the website.
You can apply on the website. There's a little button right there. You just push it.
All right.
You can read all about it.
22-cent tax, real quick.
22-cent tax is a drop in the bucket. What we ought to be doing is charging $13 or $14 a pack, so that society isn't subsidizing the cost of every pack of cigarette like we do today.
Yeah.
Because they pay $5 now. The real cost to our society in Louisiana is $13 or $14.
Okay.
So think about that.
Yeah. Love to have you come back on the show, talk more about this. Always great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
We're about out of time. You've been watching Across Louisiana. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time.